Welcome everyone to a special edition of Sports Opinions with Regular Guys. Special NBA edition, I guess, of Sports Opinions with Regular Guys. Frank, this is Mike, and welcome to the show, to all you guys listening, podcast and through YouTube video. We're going to get right into it. It's going to be about the NBA today, exclusively. There's a lot of NBA stories going on right now. From the Bulls lost last night, but with DeMar DeRozan, it's 46 points, but in a loss to the Boston Celtics. But mainly on some other NBA stories going on. So let's briefly get into it. So let's start off briefly with the Chicago Bulls.
Yep.
So they had won a couple in a row since our last show. And they lost though yesterday, so their record was at 4-5. It's now 5-5. They lost to Boston last night. DeMar DeRozan had 46 points. You also had a good showing from Vucevic, but of course JR did not show up to play. 18 points is mediocre when he should be scoring 30. If he scored 30 points, we probably would have won that game. But also too, the Bulls have some injuries going on with Andre Drummond and Kobe White. I think they missed another game. Disappointing loss, but again, it's on the road against Boston, so it was probably kind of expected, you know. Boston was going to come out strong for a revenge game when they lost to the Bulls a couple of weeks ago here. So Boston decided to take it out, and they won. They didn't win by much. Only won by a few points, but nonetheless, they still won, and that's all that matters. The Bulls, again, they're giving up 100 points a game. They're giving up a lot of threes. They don't defend the three-point line well. And then you had Brown do a nasty dunk on Vucevic. Vucevic was kind of embarrassing, but he still put up 12 rebounds, and he scored 20 points or something like that, I think.
You're talking about the Vooch?
Yeah.
He had 24.
Yeah, 24 and 12.
He was killing it from the three.
Yeah.
But in the fourth quarter, he was 3 for 4 from the 3.
Where was JR at? He didn't show up to play. 18 points ain't gonna cut it. You're paying $250 million and you only put up 18 points. That man needs to be put up 38 points. If he would have put up 38 points to match DeRozan's 46 points, then the Bulls might have won the game.
I agree.
But again, this guy doesn't show up to play. He can't play back-to-backs a lot of times. This is an issue. That's why I keep saying they should never give him a max contract.
I don't know, Frank.
We're only 10 games in, but we'll see.
Look at the line here. So he's played 7 games so far. He's averaging 20 points per game.
That's below his average. For the
It
Bulls.
is, but this is someone that just came back from a knee injury, right? You gave everybody else a pass, like Kawhi Leonard.
That surgery was done in the offseason.
Pass, but this man can't get a pass.
That was in the
offseason.
That was in the offseason. He should be nice and healthy now, and he should be putting up where he left off at. Where's the 25?
Klay Thompson is allowed 2 years to get back to himself, but Zach LaVine.
Klay Thompson had a 2-year injury.
He needs to come back right away and be Superman. Give the man some time.
That's different.
You know, he did explode for 24 points in one quarter, 2 games before that, and led us to a victory. So I'm not ready to pile on Zach LaVine yet. He still has a lot of promise. He's still our number 2 guy. It doesn't matter how you look at it. It's not.
He wasn't number 2 yesterday.
Well, he had 18 points yesterday.
That's not good enough.
He had a tough game yesterday.
That's not good enough.
Well,
you have DeRozan, who's an older player, who's playing more minutes, is putting up more, being more productive. And he doesn't have knocked with the injury bug. That's what bothers me about this guy, JR.
There's no more Jay anymore, man. The guy's been gone like 5 years.
I don't care. He'll still be JR until they win a playoff series.
Jimmy Butler's been gone
until they get rid of him.
Years. It's over.
Until they get rid of him, or until he wins a playoff series with
that
the Bulls,
man is
he'll
Zach
be called JR.
LaVine.
His name is Jimmy's replacement. Is what his name is.
Not his paycheck. His paycheck shows differently.
Yeah.
His paycheck shows way differently.
With the mediocre 18 points against Boston. So
I don't know. We're talking about the Boston Celtics that just went to the championships.
And it's the same team the Bulls beat 2 weeks ago.
So we got to win over them, and they got to win over us. I mean, that means to me.
And by the way, did he
Did
he even play that game? By the way,
no, he was out that game.
Oh,
he was out that game.
Well, I
mean, once again though,
another no-show for JR. Let's put it that way. So what they do got to get back though is they got to get healthy. So they're a little banged up. Once they get their team in full strength, who knows when Lonzo Ball's coming back? He may not come back this season. I'm going on the limb to say I don't think he's going to return this season. So I don't expect to see him play at all. But they got to get Andre Drummond back, and they got to get Kobe White back. Kobe White has like an oblique injury or something, and Drummond has a shoulder injury, which I don't even know when he injured that shoulder.
I want to touch back up again because when I was watching that game yesterday, I just find it so unfair that we unload on Zach LaVine. Yes, he did have 16 points yesterday. He had a bad game, but where was Patrick Williams? 7 points. Where's his distribution at? This is supposed to be our next star guy that we waited to come back from injury. To me, if we're talking about mediocrity, it's Patrick Williams. He hasn't been doing anything. He had one breakout game where everyone else was off and he was on. I think he finished with like 22 points that game. But at the end of the day, what's he averaging for the season? What's he really doing on the team? Vooch did his job. He came up with 24 points. Io had a pretty subpar game himself. 11 points, as a starter. So we can't just look at Zach LaVine. It's not just two guys on the team. There are other guys that need to be contributing.
You're getting paid $251 million or $252 million, and you only put up 16 points. Even if you put up 26 points, they might have won that game. Hell, if you put up 20 points, they would have won the game.
That's true. But if Caruso would have put up more than 5 points.
Caruso is not a scorer like that. He's a distributor.
If Dragic would put up more than 5 points.
Dragic has been doing okay, but you can't expect him to be like that every night. Someone like JR, who we paying all this money to, we gave him a max contract, and he's putting up, 25, 28 points, 30 points a game. You put up DeRozan numbers. DeRozan ain't getting nowhere near the amount of money that LaVine is getting paid. All you produce is 16 points on prime time on national TV, while DeRozan showed and shined with 46. And then what's going to happen? Oh, he can't play. I don't know if they play tonight, but knee soreness management.
That's what they're going to start doing, and I'm going to talk about that because that's a thing around the league now that everyone has this knee soreness management. No one's playing back-to-back games anymore. That's getting to be ridiculous.
I don't remember this happening when Michael Jordan was playing.
That's just the way athletes are now. You can't force them. Well, I'm not saying force them, but I just feel like any little injury now leads to, I can't play for 2 weeks or I can't play for a month.
These players are too brittle.
I broke my nail, so I need to be out for 3 weeks, while it grows back, or else
You want to call it the Derrick Rose effect around the league?
Yes, either the Derrick Rose effect or it's the Kawhi Leonard effect.
No.
Because both those guys are equal. Kawhi is a professional sitter. That's all he does. Every time I look up, this man is sitting down. It's like him and Anthony Davis. And man, I like Anthony Davis, and I like I love the Lakers. I love LeBron. But man, it's not a matter of staying healthy. It's just the how frequent that this is happening. It's like, how come there are players out there like DeRozan? How many games has he missed? We saw him perform all last year. He got bumps and bruises, but did he need to sit because he had a sore shoulder or his buttocks, left buttocks is strained? How does that even happen? It's crazy that these things happen, and all these players are finding all these reasons to sit down. I think it's dumbing down the NBA. It's watering it down. People like myself that like to go to games and see, the games and see the athletes play, you're going to show up and your favorite player is going to be in the street clothes on the sideline, and you're going to be watching the bench play. That's not what I came out there to come do. I didn't come out here to come watch the bench play. I didn't come out here to come see Bradley play. I came out here to see Zach LaVine play. So it's just the way it is for me right now. And anyway, we're taking away so much from the Bulls. The Bulls are 5-5.
It's still early.
Still early in the season.
They got 62 more games left to play.
Yeah.
So the season is a long way to go.
Yep.
They just got to get healthy. That's
Yep.
the thing with the Bulls. They got to get healthy, and they got to get more out of JR.
I agree with you on the Lonzo Ball thing. I don't think Lonzo Ball will be playing for the entire season with the Bulls. I see him coming back after January. I see him playing maybe 3 weeks, and he's going to aggravate his knee. And he's going to have to sit back down for the rest of the year, shut down until next year. Prophecy.
Yeah, if that's the case, then they should just get rid of him. Sorry. I mean, I'm really tired of these players that come here. This is in the NFL too. They come here and they get hurt. They sit their ass on the bench in a suit. Or they sit on the bench and not playing. What are we paying you for? To sit on the bench? Shit, pay me and let me sit on the bench. I'll be gladly to take that nice paycheck. You know, but if you're not going to play, because you're hurt, then you're not going to be playing here. Agreed. Get rid of these injury-prone players. Get rid of them. You know, go play hurt somewhere else. Or go retire. I'm tired of this every time. Like, this player's hurt. You got to sit on the bench for somebody. You know, get off the team. Lonzo Ball hasn't played since January.
Yep.
Okay, that's what bothers me about this. Yeah, whatever was wrong with you, you could have got that taken care of right in January.
Yep. And
then you should have been ready to go when the season started. Now you're talking about till next January? That's a whole damn year. I mean, come on. It's time to cut ties with him and let him go. It was a failed experiment.
Unfortunately, I have to agree with you on that.
Failed experiment.
Production.
You know, that's why we got Dragic here.
He's talented. He's got great D. He's got great vision.
Io's the future anyway.
If you're not going to play, then unfortunately, man, we do have to cut ties, you know? I was a fan of seeing you here, but man, if you're not playing every season, you're sitting down, 70 games, then it's not worth having you here. Because, we need you. We need you playing. I'm sure we can find another defensive-minded player, elsewhere that will play.
Io.
What really bothers me about his injury is, like you said, he hadn't played since last January. He had the entire summer to rehab. Everything was all good. Nothing came until the beginning of the season when preseason came around, and it's like, oh, you know what? All of a sudden, I'm having discomfort going up the stairs, and
they said he made no improvement at all.
My knee is hurting. So, right at the beginning of the season, you should have been feeling that all through the summer. That's my issue here.
Whatever surgery.
And then you have your surgery for your knee right at the beginning of the season.
That surgery should have happened in January when he went down.
Yep.
And that way he would have been ready for now.
Yep.
Now, I'm sorry, I don't expect him to even play a game this season. That's just my opinion. So the Bulls don't need him anyway. They'll have to do without him. They've done without him so far, so they'll be fine.
Yeah.
So that's why they got the players that they got. If he plays, he plays. If he doesn't, cut him. That's how I look at it. But we'll see what happens. The Bulls again still have 62 games left in the season.
Yep.
It's a long, long way to go. We're just in the beginning of November, for crying out loud.
Yep.
Season doesn't end until April.
Yep.
So we got plenty of time before that happens. So we'll see what happens the next 10 games where the Bulls are standing after 20. So we'll definitely see what's going on with that. Well, with that, do you have any other questions? Anything else to say about the Bulls?
I did. So I still like what I see. We started off the season good with a win on Miami. I think that was a pretty good confidence booster. The teams that we did lose to were quality teams. We lost to the Wizards. Wizards aren't looking so good right now, but early in the season they looked like they were going to be something to contend with. We had that loss. The Cavs with Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell's a dog, and he has changed the Cavaliers. So that was a big loss. We lost 128-96 on that one. Spurs. I called out that we were going to lose to Greg Popovich, of course, coaching style and everything. 76ers, and of course the Celtics. We've had some pretty good wins. We beat the Nets. We did beat the Celtics a couple of weeks ago, and we got the Heat. So we got some wins against some top tier teams, unlike last year where we couldn't beat any top teams. All we were beating were just garbage time teams. So that's what I looked at this year so far at our schedule, and I feel confident that, hey, you know what? Maybe the Bulls did get a little bit better this year because we've got some wins against some quality teams.
Well, we'll see what happens. Still very early. Some of these losses they had, like the Wizards lost and the Cavaliers lost, Spurs, Sixers, they should have won all those games.
The Wizards was a heartbreaker.
Yeah, then the Sixers, I mean, now the Sixers are going to lose some games because Harden's not playing for a month.
Yep.
We even play them the next month, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, it's still early, so we'll take a look. I know they play the Raptors tomorrow. I think they're back-to-back with the Raptors, home and home. They play Sunday and Monday. I think Sunday's at Toronto, Monday's here. That is always weird to get it back to. They do that every now and then.
So that means Zach LaVine is not going to play one of those games because I don't think he's doing back-to-back games.
He'll probably won't play the game in Toronto. He'll probably play the game here. Then they got the Pelicans on Wednesday, and then they
Pelicans are looking pretty good.
Then they have the
with
Nuggets
Brandon
here,
Ingram back, they're looking
Sunday.
good.
So they have a very short schedule if you look at it. So they play tomorrow and Monday, right? And then they play Wednesday, and they don't play again until Sunday.
Yeah, so we got some time to rest,
which is good. Maybe by then, everyone except for Ball will be playing. They'll be well rested when they play Denver at home on Sunday, next Sunday, a week from tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, looking at their schedule here down the stretch. Denver, New Orleans, Orlando, Boston. Again, damn, how many times did he play Boston? 3 times in a month? Wow. OKC, Utah, Phoenix, Golden State. So they go on that West Coast trip. Around Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
But before that, they play Milwaukee, actually. Then they go on that West Coast trip for 5 games. Then they have a revenge game against the Washington Wizards in the first home game of December. And then Dallas on December 10th. So they got their work cut out for them for sure. We'll definitely know by December 10th exactly where the Bulls will be and have an idea of what they're going to be.
Agreed.
At that point. Because by then, 25 games at least would have been done at that point.
Yep.
So we'll definitely see what happens there. So the floor is yours there, Mike.
All
what
right.
you want to talk about now?
All right. Well, I want to talk about the biggest news that's happening in the NBA now. And nothing right now is bigger than Kyrie Irving with his anti-Semitic post on his website. Some of the things this guy has been doing, I know Kyrie's not a bad guy, but the guy, he's a special character. He has his beliefs. He really believes in his beliefs, and he can't be deterred. Well, at least unless Nike says that they're gonna cut ties with him, then things change around. Now, my issue with him is I get it. The thing that happened with Kanye. You have your views about it, and everyone is entitled to their view, but you being who you are and the platform that you're on and all the followers, all the people that are watching you, kids that are looking up to you. Kyrie contributes to the community a lot, believe it or not. He has contributed to homelessness. He's contributed to schools. He does help the community out. He's not a bad guy at all. But at some point, man, you have to know when to shut your mouth. You can't use your platform to spread hate in any form, because if you don't want someone to use their platform to spread hate on blacks, then we shouldn't be spreading hate on any other race. It should be even across the board, and that's where I'm at on that. My issue with him is that he was given so many opportunities to apologize and at least back out of it. Like, hey, you know what? This post right here, I posted it in rage, or I posted it in the heat of the moment, and I shouldn't have done it. You have plenty of time to do that, being who you are, and you have so many people looking up to you, and all the affiliations that you have. But you had 3 tries, and you didn't talk to any press. You avoided the press for 2 or 3 days, and then when you finally came out, you were fighting with the press, saying, "Hey, let's just move on." Well, that's not what people out there were trying to hear. People were trying to hear, "Hey, I'm sorry for what I did. I know who I am, and the power that I have over other people with who I am in general. I should not have posted that. I apologize, and I have no hate towards any race or religion or anything." That's what should have been said. Instead, he fought with the press, and he went back and forth with the press, tried to get smart with the press. That was not a good look. Definitely not a good look. And so he finally did come out and apologize after Nike said that they were going to suspend their relationship with him, and they weren't going to release the shoe anymore. And then that's when he came out, "Hey, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm going to donate $500,000 to the anti-defamation or the anti-hate group." I'm sorry. I'm not too sure exactly what group it was. The Nets tried to give $500,000, and I think Kyrie tried. If I'm not mistaken, I think that group denied it because they didn't want.
He wouldn't apologize.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I read out of all of this is, I'm not surprised by this. Kyrie is another one of those guys like a Kanye. I don't know if these guys have mental issues or what. Well, Kanye has mental issues. I think Kyrie has mental issues too. I mean, this guy is nothing but a walking controversy to begin with. I mean, and it's all because of his own actions. I mean, I don't exactly know, just from what I'm reading here, anti-Semitic supporting or posting some anti-Semitic stuff from some movie that was made several years ago. Why the hell would you put that on there?
Exactly.
And then you get on the press because they're pushing you on it. Well, that's their job. Your job is to shoot basketball or play basketball. Their job is to question you when you make stupid, dumb posts like that. When you're supposed to be a leader, you're supposed to be a figurehead. You're supposed to be, someone that looks up to you. Kids look up to you, and you're out here making anti-Semitic comments. Not comments, but posting anti-Semitic stuff from a movie that's anti-Semitic, and you're given time after time after chance to apologize, and you don't, and then you get in the media about it, so they kind of question you. If I was out there, I'd question him.
Yep.
And then I wouldn't stop questioning him. And what happens when he gets upset? Oh, I already answered it. You didn't answer anything. All you could have said is, "You know what? I apologize to the Jewish community for posting that. I wasn't thinking straight, something to that effect." And then you say, "I want to apologize to the entire Jewish community, anyone else who was offended by this." Did he do that? No. Instead, he ducked around the question and said, "I'm going to try to throw some money at it. Maybe that'll go away." No, that doesn't go away. Not today's day. It's not going to go away.
Yeah.
That money's not going to get you out of trouble like that.
Yeah. Nope.
You're going to be canceled out of the system is what's going to happen. That's what happens to a lot of people when you do stupid stuff like this.
Ask Kanye.
Yeah. He's another idiot, But this isn't the first time this has happened with Kyrie. Last year, he didn't want to get vaccinated, so he hurts his team and misses half the games because he didn't want to get vaccinated. And now he's hurting his team again by doing this crap and not apologizing. Have you apologized from the start, or then not even posted on your Instagram to begin with, then this wouldn't be a problem. Just when the spotlight was coming off of you because you were being an asshole and didn't want to get vaccinated and want to get everyone else on your team sick, so you can't play and you hurt your team because you don't want to get vaccinated because you're selfish. He's a selfish, ignorant player. I don't care what he's doing for the community. He's hurting his teammates. He's hurting his team. He's hurting the fans that support that team. He's hurting the NBA, So, I mean, that and then the vaccination issue, and then he's talking about the world is flat. Give me a break. You fly millions of miles in your whole career. Tell me once, when you're on that plane, where does the land end and where does it go down? where it was just as flat.
Where's the water going?
Yeah.
Is the water just eternally falling, and we're just producing water eternally all the time, and the water just falling at the end?
The Nets,
ridiculous.
They waited too long, and I blame them too, because they should have suspended this clown from the start. And now they finally suspend him 5 games. They should suspend him more. He shouldn't even be allowed to play. He is going to. I would not be surprised if he finds himself getting kicked out the league. He might end up being another Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick, however, for the right reasons, he's blackballed for all the wrong reasons. This guy's gonna be blackballed for all the right reasons because he deserved it and he earned it to get kicked out the league. He's gonna get kicked out if he keeps this up.
I think so. Too much trouble.
You can see Kanye's probably not even allowed to go into any NBA games. He's not allowed to go anywhere. No one wants to deal with him. You're on that same path. He's on the same path to go in that same direction. I don't know what it is with these guys. Too much money makes them mentally stupid. I don't know. It's too much money to their brain. I don't know, but it seems that way.
Yeah.
Kyrie has just been a clown and been just an ignorant idiot for the last several years. And it's kind of funny because when he first got drafted, he was a quiet guy. You didn't really hear much about him. He didn't say much. He didn't talk much. He was injured at the beginning of his career a lot, but then he didn't say much. He didn't talk a lot. He was pretty calm and cool, collective guy. Then he said, "Oh, the world is flat. Oh, I'm not going to get vaccinated. I'm going to hurt my team." I don't know. If I'm a teammate of his, if I'm Kevin Durant or any of those other players on there, I'm like, I don't want to play with this guy. Can you please get rid of him? I would say, I'm not going to play with this guy.
Durant is his boy, though. Durant.
For how much longer?
It's still his
because
boy.
Your boy is costing you games. How many games has your boy cost you?
It happened last year, and Durant didn't turn his back on him. Last year, this guy was sitting out.
Team.
They were sitting out. Last year, this guy wanted to be in one part of what was he in Jersey or something? So he wanted, after the Nets had their practice with Steve Nash, that they were going to come to his facility that he had rented out 3 hours away, so the Nets could practice with him so they can gel. Come on now.
Some of this, I kind of blame the NBA because the NBA needs to take action with stuff like this. Clowns like him start taking action. The team takes too long. The league needs to jump in. You know what, Kyrie? I don't care what the Nets do. We're suspending you for this. We're suspending you for half the season. And, well, actually, we're going to suspend you until further notice because you may not play again in this league. Period. For one, because what you're saying is you're promoting violence is what you're doing.
Yep. Hate.
And that's what's happening. Just like the rest of these, the way this country is, at least the right side of this country is, with the way they're doing stuff on election deniers and all that stuff, you're falling right in line with these clowns, and that's what you're falling in line with, in my opinion. So I think that they did the right thing to suspend him, but I thought they waited too long, and 5 games is certainly not enough. But they said it's not necessarily 5 games, it's minimum of 5 games.
Well, here's my issue with this, right? So this guy, unfortunately, as talented as he is, as influential as he is, he's got a lot of game, and he's very.
He thinks he's untouchable.
He's very on-court savvy, but like you said, he was quiet at first, and the stardom, the money, and everything, got to him. He started expressing himself a little bit more. No one said anything. He just kept expressing even more and more things, and this is the way that it is right now. But the Nets should have, like you said, came out and put a stop to it right away instead of
the NBA should have.
NBA stepping in or letting the media. The Nets should have put a stop to it. Like, look, dude, we're gonna have to suspend you because you're making us look bad. My thing with the NBA, I see it as a platform that unites. I mean, you have players from Canada, you have players from Australia, you have players from Ukraine,
all over the world.
You have players from Russia, you have players, like you said, from all over the
Africa,
world,
from everywhere
that are in the league. So this is a unifying league. You coming out and going against any religion, any race, it's not a good look for the NBA itself. That was my biggest issue, and that's why I felt like the Nets should have stepped in and just shut that down, because now you're making the NBA look bad. So now the NBA is supporting anti-Semitism.
But
in the eyes of the
Nets,
people outside.
The Nets are that type of team that they don't give a shit.
They
about
do
nothing.
give a shit.
No,
They care.
hold on. They don't give a shit. As long as you can play for us, we don't care. So that's why the NBA should have stepped in immediately and said, we're putting a stop to this right now. You're suspended. You're not allowed in facilities. You're not allowed to be with the team. You're not allowed to show up at any of our games. You're suspended until further notice.
What is the race of the Nets owner?
I don't know.
Is he Caucasian?
It's a Caucasian. It used to be a Russian guy, but he sold it. So I don't know who the owner is. But it doesn't even matter.
What I'm just saying is, you don't think that owner felt a certain way when his black star athlete was promoting anti-Semitism?
Why did he wait a week?
Platform?
Why did they wait a week to suspend him? Why did they wait a week? He didn't apologize. When he didn't apologize the first interview, when he got interviewed that first time, why did the league? First of all, the league should have suspended him immediately. But the league didn't do it. They wanted to let the Nets do it. The Nets should have suspended him immediately. They didn't do that. They let him go on an interview, and you're letting this guy get on an interview. You know he's not going to apologize because he's not that type of person. He didn't apologize, and then he got interviewed again. He still didn't apologize.
No.
So, then you wait until everything becomes too much, and then you suspend him, and that's the problem. You should have suspended his ass right when it happened.
Agreed.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
I agree.
The league needs to monitor this more. When you have idiots like this who do crap like this, suspend them. Period. Suspend him. You're not playing no more. You're suspended until further notice. No, we're not. It ain't gonna be the Nets' decision. It's our decision. You're not playing no more for a while.
Agreed.
What they should have done with the vaccination thing, like made a mandate. You're not vaccinated. You're not playing. That's a league rule. You don't like it? Too bad. We don't care what the union says about it. You're not playing unless you're vaccinated. That's a rule league wide. You don't play for any team. I don't care what your state's regulations are. You're not allowed to play at all in the NBA if you're not vaccinated. That should have been the rule. You got to put your foot down on shit like this.
Yeah, I agree.
And because these teams, they're so desperate to win, they're not gonna punish their player, star player. No. Let the league do something. We're forced to. We're forced now. Sorry, Kyrie, we have to suspend you now for 5 games. So he donated $500,000. So the Nets decide, we're gonna donate $500,000 too. Really? That's petty to me, because you should have suspended his ass right from the start, and that would have been the end of it. Now after everything blows up, Kyrie said he's going to donate and we're going to donate. Kyrie donates but doesn't apologize. What are you donating for then? He's a clown. He has been for a while now. I also think he's a mental case as well. And as far as I'm concerned, if we don't see him in the Nets uniform again, fine. And as a matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if the Nets try to trade him. But at this point, he's toxic for any team.
Exactly. Who wants him?
They want the talent.
Who wants to bend their entire
the Lakers
culture? No. Well, I wouldn't be surprised.
The Lakers, they're so desperate to win.
I wouldn't be surprised.
They would.
Hey, LeBron did work with Kyrie before.
Well, I think LeBron had an interview. He said he didn't.
He said he wouldn't mind if Kyrie.
No. He commented on the situation actually on the other game yesterday.
Yeah, he did. He said he didn't
He didn't support it. So I honestly don't think that they were getting along very well in Cleveland at the end. Anyway,
they weren't, because Kyrie wanted to be the man.
Yeah.
When he had the opportunity, I want to point that out. He had the opportunity to do that before LeBron got there, and they were at the bottom of the pile in the East, the very bottom. Bottom.
They're getting number 1 picks. They drafted Andrew Wiggins, remember? They got number 1 pick and they got Andrew Wiggins, who was supposed to help Kyrie. That would have been an interesting duo.
It would have been.
You had they would have never got Kevin Love there. They would have kept Kyrie. They would have had Wiggins there, and that could have been a decent duo there. But that didn't happen. But the bottom line is Kyrie is a nutcase. He's a head case, and that's the bottom line. He is. He's not all there. The world is flat. I mean, where are you at? Where are we at here?
You're not letting that go, huh?
No, I'm not letting that go. He's an idiot. And so the Nets get exactly what they deserve. Now another Nets story. Let's stay on the Nets because they seem to be the controversy of the NBA. If it's not them, it's the Lakers. So to the Nets again. I'm so sorry, Brooklyn fans or New Jersey fans, whatever you are, the Brooklyn. I'm sorry your team is just in turmoil and always will be, I guess, as long as you have clowns like this on your team. Ben Simmons. So Ben Simmons is not playing again, people. No surprise there. Now, I guess it's not a mental health issue, so they say.
No, it's an actual health issue.
Now it's an actual health issue.
Yeah.
I think it's his knee.
Yeah.
Okay, so they say. No, with this guy, Mike, I'm sorry, it always has to be questioned with whatever his issue is because I just have the feeling that this guy just does not want to play in the NBA and get rid of him already.
He just wants to get paid to sit because that's what the NBA players are doing now. They found a way to basically juke the system.
Well, you think there should be something in the contract?
I'm hurt. You can't force me to play.
There should be something in the contract. And honestly, what they should start doing is they should start putting clauses in these contracts. You're only going to get 10% of your pay when you're injured.
So this guy, he
And
had
that's
his
it.
knee drained because he said he's been experiencing swelling.
How? You didn't
In the
play.
knee.
How many
In
games
the
have they
knee.
played? How many
Right.
games has he played?
Right.
How do you have swelling in your knee? How do you have knee issues when, not to say something, when you have not played
You ain't
in
played
2 years
shit.
almost?
Yeah, exactly.
And how the hell you have knee issues already all of a sudden?
So
What have you been doing?
So he's not going to play tonight's game against the
He's not playing
Hornets,
for a while.
which marks his 4th straight game that he missed.
How many games has he played? 2?
I think he played like 3 games.
3 games.
Yeah.
No, when they played against the Bulls, he was in an ugly sweater and sitting on the bench.
You know, the last time he played was when he was shooting those airball layups that I was talking about. Mental. And then Cameron came out the next day talking about, yo, what you doing, man? If you don't want to play, bro, you can go ahead and sit down.
Quit.
If you don't want to play, then don't play and let someone else come in and play.
And that's the wrong market to be doing this shit in because you're in New York. That is the wrong market.
He doesn't even travel with the team. He's just basically chilling at home, rehabbing. I don't know, man. Look at his average. Wait. This man is averaging 6.2 points, 6.5 rebounds, and 7 assists.
Wow,
Are
that
they-
much?
Are they missing that much from him?
Well, I'll be shocked. I'll be the one to say it. I'm shocked. These are higher numbers than I expected.
6 points?
Yeah.
6 points?
Yeah. I expect Ben Simmons to probably average maybe 2 to 3 points a game, honestly. Because he can't shoot worth shit. He can't make free throws. He might get a layup here and a layup there. Maybe 2 layups, 4 points. His rebounds, maybe have 3 rebounds. His assist, that's what he's good at, is passing the
Assists
ball.
and defense.
So, yeah, the assist is fine, but that's what he is. He's a rebounder and he dishes the ball. But for someone in his position, that's not what you need. That's not the type of player that you should be. You should be a prolific scorer. You should be averaging 26 points a game. You should be getting 6 rebounds a game. You should be getting 7 assists a game. At this point of your career, you should be one of the top scorers in the league, as you were projected to be when you got drafted.
Yep.
I mean, but again, everyone kept sweating him how, he's going to get better, he's going to get better. I guess everyone realizes now he's not. He doesn't want to play.
I don't understand how this man has so much time on his hands and he can't learn to shoot a ball.
He doesn't have heart.
You
He
learned how to
doesn't.
shoot a ball, right? You practiced and you started banging shots, right? How is
Yes.
this professional player that has access to a gym 24/7
And getting paid millions.
still can't shoot a free throw? Like, make 2 in a row. Somehow, this man just can't. I don't get it. I'm baffled by it.
There was a report I thought I read, maybe it might be bullshit, but something that the Brooklyn Nets are looking to trade him. What team is going to want him?
Someone very desperate. I think they said it was Portland. Portland was
I
interested.
hope to God that the Bulls
To
don't
bring
even,
some
don't
defense to
even
Portland.
waste your time with this bum. I hope to God.
No,
the
we
Bulls
don't need
waste
him
me.
here. We don't
Yeah.
need Ben Simmons.
That's
We're
another.
good.
That's a
We
problem.
don't need him.
He's a problem. Kyrie's a problem. They're problems. That team is a big
Yeah.
problem. I don't understand how. Here's the thing: if you're Kevin Durant, you left Golden State to go here. You left Golden State to go here. You could have been winning rings in Golden State.
He wanted to show he could win a championship on his own, like with his team, and not go hop on.
Well, I bet those boys in Golden State are laughing in his face. Like, that's what you wanted to go to, all this turmoil in Brooklyn, to go with a player who has mental issues.
Is it KD's fault though that Kyrie's acting a fool? It's not really his fault.
It's not his fault.
Is it his fault that the Nets went after Ben Simmons and signed Ben Simmons?
No, it's not. No, it's not. But you left a winning organization that if you stayed on there, you probably could have won a couple more rings.
He won two, didn't he?
But he could have won two more.
He felt that was not his team, one. Two, you had Draymond Green reminding you, hey, you came up on our squad to come win a championship. That's what made Kevin Durant leave. Is because Draymond was telling him, yo, you came on our squad. We were already winning without you.
Yeah, but Durant's numbers didn't really slip that much when he went to Golden State.
No.
So
Durant won the MVP for the finals.
So what I'm saying is he shouldn't have left. He should have stayed there. But he goes to Brooklyn, fine. And they were favored to win a couple of years ago. I did pick them. I picked them to, I believe it was to play the Clippers that 1 year, and they disappointed me. But they're just a big controversy. That's all that team is to me. That's all they are. And I'm so sorry. I just think they get, I hate to say it, but they get exactly what they deserve. And they are in trouble because where do you see, be honest, where do you see this team going?
Right now,
I don't think they're going to make the playoffs.
They don't look like they're going to make the playoffs. They look like they're going to be a 10 in the East. That's going to be trying to fight
under 500,
and then they're going to be booted before they can even make the playoffs. They don't look
good at all, man. And then what? Then what do you do with this team?
Who else is shooting besides
Kevin Durant wanted to be traded. By the way, let's not forget the fact that Kevin Durant demanded to be traded in the offseason.
Because he did not want Steve Nash as the coach anymore. And Steve Nash knew this. Kyrie didn't want him as a coach. Kevin Durant didn't want him as a coach. Kevin Durant demanded a trade saying it was either him or Nash.
Kyrie Irving can't demand shit.
And they somehow came to an agreement. And they kept both. But I already knew it wasn't going to work. I wasn't surprised when I saw Steve Nash got let go. I was not surprised at all.
I actually was surprised early in the season.
I'm not.
And
they don't want to play for him. And that's all I saw.
They see that right away. The best thing is to get rid of him.
Yep.
What else I wanted to mention? Because Brooklyn's in a big, big mess.
Well, we're going to keep talking about them. I'm sure they're going to be the talk of our show after the Bulls on most parts. Now, our show is getting a little longer than what I expected today. So I did want to open up and talk about one last thing. First of all, Ben Simmons' knee came back clean. So there is no swelling. He's good.
That's why I can't believe anything
I just want to bring that back.
It's all about the mental issue. Yes. He has mental issues. He
shot airball layups.
I need a mental break.
And now I
need to miss 20 games.
Confidence. He needs to sit down.
I need to miss 20 games because I'm not mentally
there. That's exactly what happened. Jeez, in my opinion, that's
give
exactly
this guy a damn give him a bottle and let him, give him a pacifier.
Yeah.
Give him a pacifier and let him and baby him. My goodness.
Let me move on to the next topic that I had for today, which I thought was unbelievable. One, and two is beginning to be a ongoing thing that we're seeing with athletes taking advantage of, women in either a psychologist or a massages or a therapist. It doesn't matter. So what I want to talk to you about is Joshua Primo. Joshua Primo is a ex San Antonio Spurs player. He was a first-round draft pick for them a couple of years ago, actually. I think it was last year. And this guy says that he has some mental health issues, which I'm not doubting. The man, probably does because of what he was doing. He was assigned a psychologist for the San Antonio Spurs, and he was seeing her, a therapist. And for whatever reason, this man would show up to the therapist with some short shorts on, or he'd pull them all the way up and lay down on the couch so he can expose, himself erect to her. She complained, and they asked, and he denied it all. Like, no, I never did that. Like, this woman just came out of nowhere and just said, yo, this guy just pulled out his thing and exposed himself to me, or he was erect and he was, rubbing it or whatever he was doing. And she had 9 different occasions where she complained, and they just didn't take it seriously somehow. Matter of fact, when her contract was up and it was time to re-sign it, they decided not to re-sign her and they let her go. So, of course, she's suing them, and it came out that, yeah, this guy has been, exposing himself to random people, random women, and he finally got caught up. So now this therapist is actually suing the San Antonio Spurs, and she's probably going to win some big bread, especially the fact that they let her go after she complained about what this guy was doing. And there's the same thing that Antonio Brown was doing with his therapist. There's the same thing that Deshaun Watson was doing with his 63 or 66 different women that alleged that, he exposed himself to them while he was getting his massages. I mean, this is getting out of hand, and it's making us look bad. We're like social predators and social media predators, really. And it's kind of sad. So now this guy is under investigation, and he's probably gonna be in pretty big trouble, even though he's using the mental health issue as a defense. But dude, you gotta know the right and the wrong. You're not exposing yourself to everybody. You're just waiting for women to be around, and you're exposing yourself to them. Now, if you were going on the court and you just had the need to expose yourself to your teammates, then I would say, yeah, you know what? He has this issue where he needs to expose himself. But you're picking and choosing, bro. You know what you're doing. So I'm not trying to buy that.
Well, I mean, it's an unfortunate situation. I'm very surprised by the San Antonio Spurs organization, which is a pretty good organization, that would sit there and allow this to happen without taking further disciplined actions prior, right away when this happened. I'm very shocked by that. Now, this kid is 19 years old.
Yep.
So he could have some mental issues here. That's probably the case, and that's messed up because you probably had a promising career ahead of him.
Yep.
And now you threw it away because mental issues. But that
done.
But it could be a mental situation with him. It's sad. It's bad. It's horrible. But I mean, what are you gonna say? I mean, I'm just very shocked that the Spurs allowed this. Didn't believe the therapist who's been working for you for how many years, telling
times.
you that this player is doing this, and you don't believe it.
Yep.
And then you let her. They let her go, right?
Yep. If they let you fire.
Yeah. So now they're going to pay the price.
Yes, they
because,
are.
But what they'll end up doing is they'll end up settling. So she's not going to take him to court.
Give her job back.
Would you want your job back? I wouldn't. You know what? Just pay me. Settle out of court. Pay me my millions. I'll go in and go work for another team somewhere, and that would be it. That's the best option for it. Or just use that money, and you have enough money more than you've made for your whole life, so you can use that for something. It's just unfortunate that had to happen. And you're right, this stuff like this is happening with these entitled athletes that feel that they're untouchable.
Yep.
And we could just get out there and expose ourselves to someone. They just got to sit there and say yes. Well, no, not everyone. Just because you're an athlete doesn't mean that they want to see anything of you. And you just think you're just gonna sit there and show them something because you're so and so, or you're so and so because you have a big name. No, and you should know better. You should know how this world is now. You try to do something like that, you're gonna be exposed immediately.
You're gonna be held accountable,
and you'll be canceled. You'll be fired. You'll be everything. You'll be possibly put to jail, and you'll lose everything.
Yep.
For what? I mean, the money you got, just go pick up a woman online. That shouldn't be hard to do with all the money that they got.
These guys have, these guys can go into a club easily. We remember
yes.
we used to go to clubs and you used to be able to see the VIP guys just sitting there, and then girls are just flocking to them. Come on, you're telling me this guy wasn't able to do this?
I would say this kid, though, I think this kid just had some mental issues.
Ridiculous.
Maybe he just has mental issues because who knows? But I blame the San Antonio Spurs organization as much as I do the kid because they allowed this to happen.
Agreed.
And they believed that kid over this therapist who worked for you for how many years. This is a psychological therapist.
Yep.
This kid is obviously having some issues. Why is she seeing him? Or so why is she seeing her? To go over his mental problems or whatever,
Right.
psychological issues, and that's what you hire her for. To be the psychological doctor there for your players and employees and staff. And she comes to you and she tells you, this guy's exposing himself to me. He's not even listening to what we're saying. He's exposing himself to me. What are you going to do? Oh, we're going to fire you because we don't believe you.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden when it comes true, now you got your foot up your ass now, up your foot up your mouth. Now you're going to be exposed to a major lawsuit, but you'll settle out of court. So it's bad. It's a black eye on the Spurs organization, which is traditionally a very good organization, run very well.
Yep.
There's just a black eye on it. So with that being said, anything else you want to say?
No, I mean that basically covers news that I wanted to cover on, or that we wanted to cover on.
We had to do a special
right
show
now
on some of the stuff that we weren't able to cover in the last show. So we'll definitely get back to the NFL. We'll have a show most likely on probably Tuesday or Wednesday to go over the results of the Sunday's games, talk about the Bears, of course. We'll get into a little bit of the Bulls to see what the Bulls are at that point, because by then they'll have their back-to-back games with the Raptors.
Yeah.
We'll go into the NFL news, what's going on, and anything else that we could talk about as far as the NBA goes when it comes to that. So.
Yep. So once again, thank you all for watching us. Sports Opinion, we're regular guys. Catch us, of course, on YouTube, like you're watching right now. Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, iHeartRadio. We're there. Again, we'll be back, with some more news and some more whatever's happening around the NBA and the NFL. Thank you for watching.